Welcome to Atmanramayana, where timeless wisdom meets modern insight. Join me, Svetanusha, and our resident expert Srini as we embark on a journey through the sacred narrative of the Ramayana. So, in our previous discussions, we were discussing about Shakti and Shiva energies.
Yes.
So, when we are talking about Shiva's energies or Shiva's blend in terms of Purna leader, you mentioned it is good to have a goal, it is good to be
Correct.
ambitious.
Yes.
But over a certain point, it also has a limit, and if we cross
Correct.
that limit, it becomes a greed. So,
Absolutely.
is there a way to identify what
Oh,
level
good.
is greed and what
Right.
level is?
So, what is greed is a very interesting thing. So, consumption is not bad. Consumption is good. The challenge is when consumption becomes a moving goalpost. So, for example, saying ki I want a car is not bad at all.
Okay.
But the day you get a car and then you want to keep upgrading, and then it becomes a moving goalpost, then we have a challenge. So, the basic definition of greed would be that you don't know how much is too much. And you fall into that trap of just consuming all the time and building on that consumption. And that is what is, so Yatai in Ramayana, who is one of the ancestors of Rama, and he is one who wants his, never want to get old, want his youth always to remain so. And he makes one of, he actually barters his, with one of his sons, ki you pass on your youth to me so that I can live longer.
Oh.
And that keeps going on till the day when he realizes ki he can never come to a sense where you will get satisfied.
Okay.
So the beauty of consumption is it will never reach a tipping point. It will always, it's like that going into a black hole. So it will always keep going on and on and on. So it is important for us to understand that when consumption becomes a moving goalpost, then that's a first hint to us that it's no more an ambition and it's a greed. So what is critical is, does the scarcity mindset dictate your decisions, or is it the need to make a difference to somebody else dictate your terms? That is the tipping thing. That is what will tell you whether it is making sense or no.
Okay.
So when you decide to do something, is it going to help somebody else? If yes, then that consumption is good.
Okay.
But if it is only going to help you and your desires, then that means there is something wrong in it. Because you and your desires can never see the end. It's like an horizon, you think the horizon is end, you reach there and something else will pop up. And that is why greed is dangerous for us. Now the beauty is the pop psychology or the consumption markets that we are in make us believe that we'll always be inadequate. So you go and buy a nice big TV, tomorrow you will find a new ad that says, 40-inch TV is no big deal. If you really have arrived in life, get a 50-inch TV, get a 60-inch TV. You've bought a car, it will say, your car doesn't have a sunroof, then it is not a car enough. Or you bought a car but you haven't bought an SUV, then you are not enough. So the consumption market will always tempt you, prompt you to say that this is not enough. And if you keep falling for that trap and say, I need to have the next big gadget that is coming in town, then that's a clear indication. Because your conscience is not driving those decisions. It is your scarcity that is driving those decisions. So if conscience is driving your decisions, then you can be happy to say, I'm not greedy. But if your scarcity is driving the decision, Shweta has it, I don't have it, and that's what makes me running and consume, then that's not a good thing. And that is where the greed is.
Okay. And this is all about personal consumption.
Yes.
How does a professional consumption comes in context of leadership role or being a leader?
So professional consumption is like this. Say for example, if I can get a job done by 5 people, and if there are 7 people in my team, and I see you are struggling with 2, or you're struggling with not having enough resources, do I volunteer and give my people to you? Do I come and tell you that I have extra resources, I can take some burden? Today, if you look at the way teams are managed, way leaders manage their things, they want all resources with them, irrespective of the fact they are going to use it. Is it going to be helpful? Is it that somebody else requires those resources more than me? I'm not bothered. And you have leaders who have tons and tons of resources lying with them without any good usage of that. And that exemplifies the whole idea of greed. Why do you need such large resources? Why do organizations require such fancy big offices? Why do we require so much of infrastructure? So today I require that not for usage but to prove a point.
But it is also giving employment. It is
so if
providing,
it is providing employment, but say what was the big deal of me employing 5 people and not giving them enough work, or work which will help them to achieve their potential. So today I've taken 5 people more in my team just to prove a point to Shweta that you are only 7-member team, I have a 12-member team.
Okay.
And that is greed. But if I require 12 people to do that job well, and if I have 12 people, then my conscience has driven that decision. So that's not greed. But when I want a bigger laptop, I want a bigger office, I want a bigger cabin than your cabin. Why? Because I have a title which is one higher than you. Then that's greed. So how does the size of my cabin defines who I am? But today that is what we've fallen into. The corner office is what defines who I am. Do I have a reserved car parking space? How does it matter? Right? So some of those things we have to ensure that we don't fall into trap, because they are classic examples of greed.
Okay.